How's it going, guys? Stonewall here with Raised by Sharks. It's been a while, but the Summer Festival is here, and Behemoth is on his way. So that means that you should be using the Summer Festival to prepare yourself for the Behemoth, because he's going to be one tough monster to beat. So I really wanted to break it down for you guys and teach you how you're going to have to fight the Behemoth, because through the streams that I watched and, the information that's come out for him, he's not going to be simple to fight. There's some mechanics to him that haven't been seen in other monsters in the series. So, for every team, you're going to need at least one dedicated tank. If you don't have one dedicated tank, it's going to be pure chaos. And without drawing the aggro to one specific player who can control where Behemoth attacks, it's going to be very hard for your teammates to stay alive. And also, those rocks that he drops that will prevent you from being killed by his meteor attack can be broken by him. Now, if he breaks those rocks, there's nowhere or very little places for your teammates to hide, and when he drops that meteor, there's no diving, there's no guts saving you, you will die. You have to be behind the rock. That's where the tank comes in. If the tank can draw the aggro to him and direct him away from those rocks and away from his teammates, he can keep his DPS and support players in the fight. Next on the list is you want to be a support player if you know what you're doing. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be full-blown support build with like Hunting Horn and all that. But if you know what you're doing, most players that you do drop-ins or SOSs won't. So you have to take it upon yourself to know what you're doing. Bring those life powders, bring the demon powders, hard shell powders, bring it all. Support your teammates, keep everybody alive, keep everybody buffed. The shorter you can make the hunt, the less time there is for your teammates to make mistakes. So demon powders help, hard shell powders keep them from being carded, life powders can keep them alive. It's all important. Sheep the leopard for 3 seconds, keep your teammates alive. It'll save you a lot of time for failed quests in the long run. Now, DPS players, I'm speaking for the community on this one. Please, 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 if you're going to run hardcore DPS builds on this monster, do not cart. Don't do it unless you're good enough to not cart, or just throw on a couple of vitality jewels. It's not going to kill you to drop your DPS by like 3% to not cart, because in the long run, that will help your teammates and be far less aggravating to you and to everybody doing this hunt. I'm going to show you some generalized builds that I had prepared, and we'll see what type of situations you might find yourself in. So if you want to be the tank to pull the aggro, if you trust yourself doing that, because it's probably the most difficult job and most important job. So if you feel like you're a really skilled player, instead of being DPS like you usually would be, you might want to take it upon yourself to do this instead. So this type of a build, your job is really not as much to do damage and more so to make sure that you're always aggroing the behemoths, so that way you could pull him away from the rocks and teammates. So you're going to want something with the Valhazak Vitality in it, so that way you don't have to worry about healing as much. Along with some recovery speed, you want health boost, defense boost, divine blessing, all that kind of stuff, so you take less damage, and your Valhazak recovery, along with health regen on a lance or gun lance, will keep you alive and with your weapon out, constantly poking him, so that way you don't have to drop the aggro and let it go to your teammates. Now, I suggest putting on guard up and guard at least of level 3. I don't have it on this build that I'm showing you right here, just because at the time when I made this build a while back, I didn't have the jewels I have now, but I didn't put them on yet. But I would suggest guard level 3, because that's the sweet spot for the skill. Also, evade extender, I would suggest 2. 3 makes you evade too far for your poke combos if he's not moving, but 2 gives you just enough mobility to stay with the monster if he moves around the battlefield. Okay, now for the DPS players, I wanted to show you something like this. So you see how I have the 2 wide range on there? That's not killing my build, but if I put my weapon away, I can heal my teammates with a mega potion, I can use my powders, keep them alive, and I know that I'm good enough at the game that I will do enough damage to the monster that is really not going to kill our team for me to keep them alive, and putting the weapon away and dropping my DPS a little bit. Sometimes the little unselfish moves that you could do will be the difference between 3 carts from a random or completing the quest with no carts at all. And now for the pure DPS. If you think that you're good enough to handle it without carding, and you really don't want to be any bit supportive or tanky, and you're just going to be pure DPS, I mean, you're taking a risk, because when you go into an SOS, you never know who you're going to get. But if you do it and you take that risk, you're going to want a build that looks something like this. I mean, not specifically this, but just in general, you want all DPS skills, because if you're going to be that DPS guy, you better be shaving time off of the quest clear time, otherwise you're leaving yourself open for failed quests from teammates messing up. If you don't feel like you're going to have the ability to shave off that much time from the quest clear time, or to not card at all, what I suggest doing is dropping a couple of the least important skills for defensive skills. Trust me, your teammates will thank you when you don't cart during the quest, even though it takes an extra minute and 20 seconds. No one's going to care about the minute 20 seconds as long as you actually clear the quest. In the beginning of the video, I mentioned that you should use the Summer Festival to prepare. So if you haven't yet, definitely go get the Wyvern Ignition. It's by far, like, it's not even close, the best greatsword in Monster Hunter World. It's that good. Go get it. If you're a heavy bow gunner and you haven't done Covert Tarath enough to get the Tarath's Assault support, or the Glutton, or any of the RNG cannons that he has, here's the Glutton, you definitely want to go get them. People keep asking, like, are these weapons that good? Yes. The support is by about like 5 to 6%, the best Pierce heavy bowgun in the game. The Glutton, in terms of raw DPS with the spread, is by far the highest in the game, and in total DPS, it's probably ranks up there in the top 3 DPS options in the entire game. Now, if you're going to go tank, for the Lance, I heavily suggest the Barrett Stinger 3, both for its high augmentation slots, giving you potential for a lot of health regen slots. It's good stats, and also it's got really good flexibility because of a medium and a small jewel slot on top of 15 defense. It's pretty much built for this situation. There's also a couple good gun lances, but overall the best options are lance and gun lance, and out of all of those options, I really think that this one's the best for that situation. If you're going hunting horn, I would suggest for the melodies, keeping it simple: attack up large, health boost large, defense up large, and when pressure negated. Something with a melody list like that will do the most for you. Okay, so just aside from the Wyvern Ignition and Covert Tarath, there is also the USJ has finally come to America, so we can finally do the USJ quests. The gear isn't that good, but the longsword's okay, and the armor looks incredible. It can be mixed with the Rathalos stuff for that set bonus. And they just have so many here. There's a ton that were for the golden and silver crowns, for the monster sizes, some that help you build up hunter rank, some for monsters that aren't always here, like Zora Magdaros or Xeno'jiiva. Then you have the tracks, so you can use those to get investigations to farm some jewels that will help finish out your sets before Behemoth comes. And then, of course, for some more jewel farming, there's the triple threat throwdown. Alright, so overall, I hope this video helped you guys prepare yourself for Behemoth a little more, figure out what you gotta do to get yourself prepared, what kind of builds you're gonna run, and when you organize your team, try to set up some types of builds. I mean, preferably, the best setup would be 1 tank, 1 half support, and then 2 full DPS. That would probably be the best setup, because you're not going to need that much tankiness if your tank is doing the job correctly. So if you have an organized team, you might want to go with something like that. If you're dropping in through an SOS, just quickly type something into the chat, or go in straight up as the tank yourself to ensure victory. Good luck with Behemoth, everybody, and I'll have a build with all of his gear out there as soon as he's released. Thanks for watching Raised by Sharks. Remember to leave a like and subscribe for more.